Keith, I'm going to give my listeners and viewers a bit of a sneak peek of a big speech you're giving this week at the Sydney Institute. And you're talking about energy and the insanity of Chris Bowen's energy. Some of this will go on the screen. You're talking about 2 million plus hectares of solar panels right across the country. That's going to hit our farmers and growers. A big tarpaulin across our natural environment. You talk about wind turbines. You talk about 10,000 kilometres of transmission lines through easements that don't exist. $80 billion plus that, of course, be passed on to consumers. You talk about all the issues with EVs, none of which have costed, of course. 7 years, we hit 2030. It's all supposed to be done by then, so says the legislation. I mean, when you tally it all up like you do in this speech, it's incredibly sobering.
Chris Bowen would have to be sainted if he manages to pull all this off.
He won't.
Especially in the next 7 years. I don't think they'll even get the approvals done by then, Peter. And on top of that, we'll look at Western Australia. You've now got all these cultural requirements that didn't exist before. It'll impact these projects just as much as it does on the East Coast. And quite simply, it's a fantasy. And what will happen, well, we'll have blackouts, we won't have reliable supply, we'll lose our coal-fired generators because they simply won't be maintained. And I think it's a real danger for this nation. It's one of the reasons that I'm speaking this week. It's been something that's been built up for a while, actually been writing for some time. So those out there, don't panic, it's nothing behind it. But look, I just think we need to stand by our values and do things that work and do things that are in the interest of the Australian people.
Yeah.